Hi, welcome to Tech Time. Today we're going to be looking at how to use Google Docs. So, if you ever have the need to type out something, whether you're on the go or just someplace where you don't have access to maybe Microsoft Word or some of the other programs that are out there, well, Google Docs is actually the great best solution for you. In fact, I use Google Docs all the time. For me, it's just a lot easier. Um, we'll talk about some reasons why, but the main thing is I never have to deal with issues like losing saved documents or anything like that because it automatically saves. So let's talk about Google Docs and see if I can help save you some time and energy. For today's Tech Time, we're going to talk about Google Docs. How do we get to Google Docs? Well, let me show you. First thing you want to do is make sure that you are signed in to your Google account. You can just go to google.com and then sign in, or you can go to your Gmail, whatever is easier for you. Once you're signed in, either just straight to your email or on the Google screen like I am, the next thing you're going to want to do is click on the Google Apps button. And that's going to be this button in the far corner with all the little squares. When we click on that, it opens up the different apps that we have access to. Now, to get to Google Docs the easiest way, we're just going to go to Drive. And if you want to learn more about Drive, see our previous videos where we discuss Google Drive. Once you're in Google Drive, you'll see all of the previous things that you've saved or loaded into the drive space. But what we're going to do to get to Google Docs is go to the New button. Now, this is if we're going to start a new project in Google Docs. We want to go to New. If you're going to open up something that you've already worked on, you're just going to find it somewhere here in your list of items and then just double click to open. Since we're starting fresh, we're going to click New. We're going to go to Google Docs. Now, before we click on Google Docs, there is a little side arrow here. This opens up a submenu which allows you to choose if you want to start in with a blank document, which is what we're going to do, or if you want to go from a template first. Now, a template is a great way to get started on something if you don't exactly know how to make it work for yourself. Let's say you want to do a business letter. So you can find a template that opens up a business letter that you can go through and fill it in and make it your own, but have the right formatting and everything in place already. And this can be true for just about any kind of document you can think of. Since we're just kind of playing and learning today, we're going to just click on Google Docs and start with a blank document. Again, this is something that you can access from anywhere. Any place you can sign into your email, you can sign into Google Docs. So if you're on a business trip, vacation somewhere, you need to type up something real quick, you can come right to this and start typing. No downloads, nothing necessary. You're working completely off the internet. And as a bonus, as you work, it saves. So what you'll notice as we start typing and adding things to our document, it will save changes automatically. So we're going to take a short tour, see what's here, what's available for us. Now, if you're familiar with any kind of word processing, the same tools are here somewhere. So let's start with the ones that are visible, see what's here. We have our undo and redo buttons, and if you hover over it will show you what the buttons do if you're not sure. And those are in case you do something, mess up, and you want to undo it, or maybe you undid too many things and you need to redo. So that's what those buttons are there to help you with. The printer button says print, but there are some things that you need to know about printing from here, and we will get to that later on. You also have your spell check and grammar check, painting formatting, your zoom if you want to see the document more zoomed in or further back. There is also the text, where you can choose if you need a title, a heading, subheading, whatever you're trying to do for your document. This is our font control, and all of these are the different fonts available through Google Docs. And as you can see, there are a lot of different fonts here that you can choose from. So you're not going to get bored with fonts. It's not as many as you might find, say, scrolling through Microsoft Word, but there is definitely enough variety to keep you busy. Here we have our font size, where we can change the size of our font to whatever size we need. These are the ones that are already there, but you can type in your own if you want. Then you have your standard bold, italic, underline buttons. There's the text color button if you want to change the color of the text that you're typing in. And then there is also the highlight, where you can highlight different parts of what you're working on. Let's say you want the background color to be kind of like yellow because you want it to stand out and everything else look normal. So this is where you would go to do that. You also have a place to insert a link, which is kind of nice when you're using Docs. If you don't plan to print it, but you do plan to send it to somebody and you want them to be able to click on links that you include, you can add those links in, which is different than handing somebody a piece of paper, because obviously you can't click on a link on a piece of paper, but you can on a digital document. Okay, you can insert images just like you could in Microsoft Word or any other typing program. You can choose your alignment, left, center, right, full. Your line spacing, if you want it double spaced, triple spaced, whatever space you're looking for. If you need to add a list, whether it be numbered or just bulleted. You can set your indents if you need them to be a certain way. And then if you want to clear any of the formatting, any of these things we just went over, and return to the default settings, you can just clear formatting on whatever you're working on, and it'll take it back. So these are pretty much the main tools that we use when we're going to do any kind of typing or document creation. But what if there's something that you need and it's not there? Well, we also have all these other menu items. Before we talk about File, let's look at the rest of these. Edit has your standard editing, which is where your undo, redo, cut, copy, paste, select all, find and replace options would be. View helps you decide what the screen looks like while you're working on it. Does not affect the document itself, just the way you see the document. Insert has a lot of different options, so that you can insert images, tables, charts, lines, special characters, page numbers, headers, footers, anything that you can think of that is adding to the document, you do through the Insert tab. We also have the Format tab, which is all about changing things within the document. So your line spacing, your text, your font, things of that nature. Tools are kind of the extra things that you have, spelling, grammar check, your word count, just the little extras. And of course, add-ons and help are special features offered through Google Docs. So let's go back to that File tab, because there's a lot there that's actually going to be kind of important. First off, we see what's called the Share button. The Share button allows us to share this document with other people. Now, when we share the document, we are giving them access to our document that they can then look at or change, or there's different options for that. This is great if you're trying to collaborate on something. Not so good if you're just needing to send it to somebody um, as a document. We'll talk about how to do that next. But sharing's great, especially if you want to let somebody else help you with something or add to it if you're doing a group project. I'll just skip that for right now. So what you do is you type in the email addresses of whoever it is that you want to share this with, and then give them the ability to edit. And then once you do, they can contribute to the document with you. Or you can just send them the link if you want. Different ways to do it. If you're sending the document to somebody and you don't want them to be able to make changes to it, you can give them the view only option when you share. But for me, the best way to do that is to send it as an email as an attachment. What that does is sends them the email letting them know that you've sent them this document. It'd be like if you attached a Word document to something or any other, like a picture, whatever it is. It sends it as an attachment instead of as an invitation to take part in the document. Okay, other things under the File tab is the New, where you can open up a new document. Open if you already have something saved. Download if you are done working with it and you want to download it so you can print it, or maybe you want to work on it in a Microsoft Word program instead, or some other program, so you can download it to that type of program or whatever it is you plan to do. Version history is nice because it allows you to go back and look at previous versions of your document. So if you made a huge mistake and you need to go back, you have the option to do that. Move and these three options here have to do with working in Drive, because again, this document, once you make changes, is saved in Drive, and so you can move it to folders, you can add it as a shortcut, or you can just destroy and remove the document altogether. Okay, you also have the ability to do a page setup, which will affect the document itself. So if you need it to be a different orientation, a different size, all those, even the spacing around the edges, all that can be changed under the page setup. Print preview will show you what the document will look like once you get it ready to print. And then lastly, we have the print option. Now, here's where it can be a little tricky. If you're going to print this document, you need to be able to have it connected to a printer, first of all. Second of all, usually what happens, especially if you're in Firefox, the print option will actually download it to your computer as a PDF, and then it will print the PDF. Now, if you're working with Chrome, since it is a Google product, it usually takes you straight to the printer option, and then we'll do a straight print. So keep that in mind when you're going to do this option. If you are in Google Chrome and hit the print button, you're probably going to get a faster print than if you are working in Firefox, where it needs to download it first. Okay, let's do a little bit of playing just so we get acquainted here, now that we've seen what all the buttons are for. So if you're with me and kind of following along, first thing we're going to do is just type our name. I'm going to type my first and my last name. So I want to change this. Let's say I don't like the size, or I don't like the default font. So I'm going to highlight it. Now, font style is right here. The default is Arial. Let's say I want to go to Times New Roman. I can click that and it changes it to Times New Roman. Maybe I want it to be 12-point font instead. Maybe I want it to be bold and a different color. Let's say I want it to be red. Or maybe I want my last name to be a different color than my first name. Okay, I'm going to hit enter. Now, since I made those changes, it's going to carry over unless I change it. Okay, so I've changed it back to normal black. Now, let's add in a list. Let's add some bullets here. So if I just click on the bullet button, it'll just give me an automatic bullet. If I want to choose, and you do get a few little options here, I'm going to go with the star option, just to have a star. And then now you can start typing bullets. When I'm done, I can just hit enter again, and it takes me back out to the regular level where I can continue typing. Maybe I want to insert an image at this point. So I'm going to click on insert image. Now, I have a few choices. I can upload a picture from my computer, which would require that I already have the image saved on my device that I can then add to this document. If that's not the case, I have other options. I can look in Google Drive, see if I have a photo there that I've saved. Again, same idea as from the computer, except this is saved in your drive. If your phone is connected to Google Photos, you do have access to any photos that have been backed up, so you could choose options from there. If you don't have that option, the other options available are just as good. So if you have the URL, that's the web address for a particular picture or image, you can just enter that and link it into your document. Or you could use the camera on your device. In this case, it would be the webcam on my computer, or if I was using like a tablet or my cell phone, it would be the camera phone. Or if those options aren't good for me, I can also do a web search. So let's do a web search. So let's search Google for something fun. We're almost in the summer. Let's look for a beach ball. Okay, so I have a few choices here of some beach balls. I'm just going to pick this one. So I've chosen it. It's showing me I've selected one. I'm going to hit insert. And there's my beach ball. So I went straight to Google Images, did a Google search, and added that image straight from that search into my document without ever having to actually leave the document. Once you have an image in place, you can make adjustments to it, such as the size, if you want to shrink it down or make it bigger. These anchor options here allow you to decide what happens. So right now it's in line with text. I can have it wrap, or I can also have it break the text. Let's see what it did. So there's my image. Let's see if I can pull it down. There we go. Now I'm going to hit enter and get underneath my image here. There we go. And I'm just going to type, here is a summer beach ball. And I'm going to make that a different color so it looks more fun. So we're going to go to our change color, and let's make it a dark orange. There we go. Alright, if I want to add something else, like I said, page number or header or footer, of course I'm going to go to insert. I'm going to choose the correct thing. So let's insert a page number. Now, inserting a page number gives us a few options of where we can place it. I want to place mine on the bottom, so I'm going to choose bottom. It now opens up the footer, giving me my page number. I have some options here if I want to change some things up with this. I also, if I want my first page to be different than my other pages that follow, I can check this box, and then it will not put the numbering on my first page, but it will put it on every other page. Alright, so these are pretty much the basics of using Google Docs. Of course, you do want to give it a name. So I'm going to come up here, and it's taking the first thing I typed here. I can actually change that to whatever I want. So I'm going to type it beach ball, since I have a beach ball. So it's automatically saving this into my drive. It's letting you know how many edits have been done here, and that it is saving. So now that I am done, I can close this, and that's all I have to do. And then I will find it in my drive, in my documents. And I might have to go a little further, because let's just do a search and drive and pull it up faster. Okay, and here's my beach ball document. And I can just open it back up and get right back to it. Well, I hope you found today's tech time to be informative. Make sure you go out and make use of this wonderful free program that we all have access to if you have a Gmail account. So keep watching our tech shorts and our other tech time class trainings, and we'll see you soon.